I got so much beef, I could barely sleep. Paranoia got me losing on my Z's all day. Good Lord, mama praying on the knee.
Welcome back to DSN's second segment of Inside the NBA. How are you guys doing today?
I've been happier.
Been happier. All right. You know what? We'll talk a little bit about the Celtics first. I'll just open it up. No team in the NBA history has ever come back from a 3-0 series deficit. After the 76ers win last night, are you guys worried?
No.
Celtics win tonight.
They're not playing tonight.
I meant next game. You know what I meant.
We're back in Boston now.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
Zero chance happening. Just like you guys said, zero chance happening that the Cavs would beat the Raptors.
I didn't say
That's
that.
right.
I
was the only one who
I
predicted
did not
the
say
Cavs
that.
would
Let
win.
me call a
Let's
timeout
talk
on the
about
play. Timeout. You called the Cavs in 6.
You called the Raptors in 5.
I called the Raptors in 7.
Yeah.
And second of all, you're a Cavs fan.
I'm not a Cavs fan.
Straight up.
We
We
you're a
don't,
Cavs
let's
fan.
not talk.
He's a
no.
LeBron fan.
Do you have a
I'm a LeBron fan.
Know the difference.
I'm a
friend.
LeBron. Know the difference.
Know the difference.
Know the difference.
He's a
Thank
Cavs
you,
fan.
Bean.
Jeff, I was being
Thank you.
sarcastic.
Know the
Wow.
difference. It's true.
You're a Cavs fan. Anyways, before we even get to Game 4 last night from the Celtics, let's talk about like Game 3 and Game 2. Because last time a podcast happened, I think it was Game 1. So what do you guys see in Game 2 and Game 3 that the Celtics won?
Yeah.
Tatum, domination. I mean, the work he's putting in is insane. Another 20-point game. I wouldn't say he's unstoppable, but for a rookie, the things that he's doing is pretty incredible. And to look at Ben Simmons looking like an absolute fool.
He's been all right.
Last night, he had a good game.
And the game before that, he did all right. Yes, he did. He was making some jumpers.
He had a 1-point game before.
Terrible. His plus minus is so bad. It's one of the worst on their team. Dario Saric is playing awful.
That's not true.
He made some
Terrible.
plays last
No,
night. He made some
terrible.
plays last night.
He's been
I
good.
disagree.
He's been
Over
very
the
good.
He's
whole
been very
series,
good, yes.
The series.
Yeah.
He's probably their second best player of the series.
He's been one of their worst
Embiid
players
and
this
McConnell.
series.
I said Embiid is 1. I'm saying Saric is 2.
He
No,
dropped
but
25 last
I think
night.
McConnell-
He had
That's
25 and
He
30
led
last
them.
That's
night.
the first game he's done
That
anything
is
all
not
series.
true.
He hasn't played any defense. He's gotten no rebounds, and he looks
know.
slow
He's-
and confused.
I think he's provided a
No.
fairly constant scoring option for them.
No, not this series.
You are wrong.
I don't know. I think TJ McConnell had an amazing game last
TJ
night. There's nothing we can talk
McConnell
about
is
that.
awesome.
What do you guys think that the Celtics can do to adjust to slow TJ McConnell down? Because he was blowing past Rozier. He was exposing Rozier a little bit on the defensive end.
He's a workhorse. He gives it 110%. And you know the guy I compare him to college basketball, Dante DiVincenzo, who got MVP in the championship game. Like, he's the same kind of mentality. Like, work as hard as you can.
DiVincenzo is definitely a little more
be
athletically
chippy.
gifted.
But still, I feel like
same-
they're pretty
I
similar
agree.
players.
No, I say they're. So, what do you guys think that we can do to slow him down? Do you think there's a certain matchup? Because Rozier was not good on him.
I'd like to
yesterday.
see Smart.
I was gonna say
a little more.
Smart has the same like work rate as him.
Yeah.
That's
I
one
think
of the guys.
Smart's the best. I think that's the best bet.
Honestly, I think the Celtics' best bet to guard him was injured last night in Shane Larkin. I think Shane Larkin, while he's smaller than him, I think Larkin brings a lot of the fight that McConnell had. He's a pesky defender. Well, he's questionable for Game 4 right now.
He may not play.
He may not play. It was a bad injury. It did not look good.
think he's gonna play.
So
What happened?
we'll see. He hurt his
He
shoulder.
fell on his shoulder.
Yeah, got rocked. So he's a good player. All right, we'll open it up to around the NBA now. After we talked a little
Well,
bit
actually,
about the Celtics.
before that,
Hold
I
on.
want to throw something at Jeff just to see, because I know he's got a strong opinion on it. Tell me about last night's refereeing, Jeff.
That's right.
Do you
To
think
define
the
it in one word: trash.
Do you think the referees lost the game for the Celtics? Are you willing to say?
Yes,
that?
I am.
don't
Will,
think
I
you
am
can say
willing.
that. I don't think you can say
Let
that.
me
The fouls-
say.
Oh my god! All right. Go.
I am
Go.
willing to say that the referees lost the game for the Celtics last night. Listen, I think there were execution problems for the Celtics last night. They took a lot of threes when they could have been driving and taking twos, especially in the fourth quarter when they were down by 10 and they needed to cut it. They needed to cut the deficit. But so like the referees, like Tony Brothers, we've seen over and over again. The man is just not a good referee. He has no game awareness Like, for the first quarter of the game, he was making calls off of crowd decisions, off of Brett Brown reactions. Like, I don't know, he was playing off of the crowd. And that's fine if you're going to do that, but you have to be able to do that in Boston, too. If you're going to be a trash referee, be a trash referee all of the time. That's all I have to say.
I agree the refereeing was not the best, but the total fouls were 28 to 23. It wasn't like there was a huge differential.
No, but here's the thing. In the first half, they eased off it a little bit in the second half, and they let him play a little bit. And Brad Stevens didn't really help the case. He wasn't great in this. He wasn't great in the second half. But in the first half, you had 4 Celtics players with 3 fouls.
Here's the thing.
4 Celtics players with 3 fouls. That can't happen.
Here's the thing. Aside from refereeing, are you telling me the Celtics were not outplayed last night, and the Celtics deserved to win if the referees weren't a factor?
Celtics were outplayed by 1 player, and that's TJ McConnell.
They did.
And
So
they
did
were outplayed.
The Celtics deserved to win last night. Referees aside, you think they should have won without the referees being a factor?
I think without the referees being a factor, I think the Celtics would have won that game. Because the Celtics, you have to look at it before.
Who disagrees?
No, before TJ McConnell went TJ McConnell mode on the Celtics last night. Celtics were on their way to opening up a gap. They were leading
So
by
TJ
7
McConnell
points,
beat the
leading by
Celtics.
7 points in the second quarter.
Not the referees.
And
TJ
then
McConnell beat the Celtics.
second, okay. Let me talk. All right.
They look flat
And
coming out of halftime.
They were flat coming out of halftime, but with like 6 minutes left in the second quarter, they were up by 7. They were on the way to making a run, and then the referees completely derailed that. We had back-to-back awful calls on Marcus Morris, which put the 76ers at the free throw line, got it to 2. 76ers made a couple of threes. That's how they roll. They roll off confidence. Bellinelli and Redick were hitting their shots. They went up by 8, and we were able to cut it to 4 at halftime. I think if the referees don't make that call, we were going to gap that lead a little bit. Obviously, I can't say that because I don't know for sure. But I think that the referees definitely halted the Celtics' progress. Yes, I think they definitely swayed the game towards the Sixers.
I'm gonna give one question, and I want to just answer something from before. One question for you guys is, what do you think about the game getting chippy last night with like the thing between Embiid and Rozier, and then Marcus Morris, little trash talk? What do you think about that?
That's right, Brian. That's right, Brian.
3-0. It's 3-1 now.
3-1.
But
What do you guys think about that though? Like, just what's your opinion on
I think it favors the Celtics.
I don't. I think the crowd getting in players' head favors the Celtics. I think, like, when it gets chippy, it's whoever the home team is has the advantage.
Yeah, but I mean,
By far.
Yeah, but you don't think Embiid's gonna get freaking tossed out of the Garden on Wednesday?
I don't think he will.
You don't think he will?
No, I don't think he will. Do I think he deserves to? I think he deserves to.
From personal experience, being at a couple Celtics games, some heated games against the Rockets that went late, the best comeback of the season, 26-point deficit. Harden lost it in the last 5 minutes of the game because that crowd was riding him.
Yeah.
The Garden gets rowdy.
No, but that's the crowd.
And I don't know. I haven't seen that out of Embiid yet. I don't think he can lose control. But for Ben Simmons, he's gonna hear it.
And that's why
he has been
that's a young
ghost.
No, he's been a ghost of himself. But that's why I said there's a difference between the players getting into it and the crowd getting into it. The crowd clearly affects the 76ers more. But when the players get into it more, that's what Embiid feeds off of. Like, you saw what he did. He got into that scuffle with Rozier. You heard what he said afterward. He tried to punch me in the face, but he's too short. He couldn't reach my face. Right after that scuffle, he comes down, hits a 3, and dances on him. That's like they feed off of that. He did dance on him.
I mean, they were in Philly too, so.
Yeah.
But I also think that the Celtics feed off of that even
I
more
agree
than
with Brian.
the 76ers.
It's all about the home
Celtics
crowd.
team without their best 2 players. In the second round, up 3-1, they feed off of it. Because that's been the same mentality since Isaiah Thomas has been around. We're the underdogs. We're going to come into your building and work harder and beat you. That's how the Celtics have won these 3 games.
It didn't happen last night, but it happened the other game.
All right. Let's talk about.
Right before we move on, so I respond to Brian's earlier point about Saric in the 4 games. He said 12.7 rebounds, 14 points, 9 rebounds, 11.5 rebounds, 25 points, 8 rebounds. I'd say it's a pretty solid stat line.
What's the shooting been on though? Because
shooting has not been hot. His plus minus has been abysmal. His defense is trash.
Yeah, but in respect of like providing for the team, he's done a decent job compared to the rest of the team.
All right.
But his turnovers has been garbage. He's not been a great player this series.
We clearly
Sarge had 0 turnovers last night.
We clearly disagree
night
about Dario Saric, but let's move on to a potential Golden State Warriors Houston Rockets Western Conference Finals.
Potential.
Keyword potential. Trent picked the
Trent.
Jazz in 7. Brendo and I picked the Jazz in 5. I'm not
I
the
didn't
Jazz.
have
The
it.
Rockets in 5. Rockets in
Good
5.
call.
Rockets
I
in
agree with
5.
Rockets in 5. I agree
Rockets in
Rockets
5.
And you think that'll happen?
I think that will happen. Houston's going to close it out tonight. Obviously, Chris Paul's never made it to a Western Conference Final, but he has never had the supporting cast that he has now. A lot of people, they criticize the Houston Rockets. They criticize James Harden because he hasn't shown up in the playoffs. The same with Chris Paul. There is just a little something different about this Houston Rockets team. If Harden and Chris Paul aren't there, that certainly hurts them. But you have players like Eric Gordon who can take over games. Clint Capella is a force on the board. He is a force. How do you think that will affect the series heading into the Golden State Warriors matchup?
Well, that's an assumption.
That's an assumption. They're gonna win tonight. I will bet.
All right, how much?
This
Give me
is
some money.
This is the Charles Barkley-esque prediction. There is no way the Utah Jazz win this game tonight. I will bet $45. There is a way.
There is absolutely a way.
There's not a way.
And one of the ways has to be my X Factor that I called
Joe
Ingles.
He looks like my dad.
He scored
he does look like your dad.
playoff high the one game they won. So clearly, if he does that again, they will continue to win. I will be correct. Jazz in 7.
He can shoot the lights out, and Harden and Chris Paul can still shoot the lights out. The Rockets will just outshoot the Jazz. They will continue to outshoot the Jazz. They had a bad shooting night in the game that Ingles went off, and the Jazz won that game. They control the pace. The Jazz have to slow it down.
Yeah,
shoot Joe Ingles.
What? You can't outshoot Joe Ingles.
Harden
Did you
and
just
Chris
say
Paul
you
are too
can't
good at
outshoot?
controlling the pace for the
I
Jazz.
don't think you can slow down the pace with Harden.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're too good.
It's not gonna happen.
Also,
And even if you try it, yeah.
The way you beat the Rockets is by being physical and being better on D than they can be.
And my X Factor really hasn't shown up. Rudy Gobert. He's been outplayed by Clint Capella this entire series. So
that just means you can't pick X Factors.
it means I can't pick X Factor. No, I think that my X Factor was correct.
Yeah,
Rudy
X
Gobert.
Factors
Rudy
go either
Gobert.
way. X
I said
Factors
Rudy
go either
Gobert
way.
had to be good if the Jazz wanted to win this series, and he hasn't been good.
I want to bring up a question, and I want to see what you guys' opinions are on it. And this is going to be, I think there's going to be some different responses on this one. At this point, who's your rookie of the year? Tatum, Simmons, or Mitchell?
All right, we'll go around. Brenda, go ahead and go first.
I'm gonna go Simmons. I think the award is messed up. I don't think Simmons should qualify, but with the current definition of the award, I think he deserves it for his all-around play this season.
Considering the voting's already happened, Simmons will get the award. I don't think there's a doubt in my mind he'll get it. I think Donovan Mitchell is a better player. I think I'd rather have Donovan Mitchell on my team just because of his ability as a leader and ability as a number one scorer, which Simmons hasn't shown. Like, you see people like Stephen A. Smith and Colin Cowherd saying Ben Simmons is going to be one of the greatest top 10 players of all time. I don't see that. I don't think he has the work ethic to do that. I think Donovan Mitchell has a chip on his shoulder. I think Donovan Mitchell is actually a rookie. Like you talked about that. And I think he deserves Rookie of the Year. I don't think he'll get it.
I'm going to disagree with part of that. I think Simmons does have the work ethic. I think he does have the chip on his shoulder, but he can't shoot. That's the difference between Tatum, Mitchell, and Simmons. Simmons can't shoot.
You can teach him to shoot, though.
He's a beast down low in the paint. But he's
an elite ball handler, but he can shoot.
If the voting included what happens in the playoffs,
Donovan Mitchell would win.
I think Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum
I
would
think
win.
Jason Tatum would.
In
I think
all
Jason-
honesty,
Donovan,
Mitchell
Mitchell's
wins.
no, because Donovan Mitchell's
Donovan
Donovan Mitchell
here's the
shows
thing.
up one
No,
night
no,
for
no, no,
45 points and then is a ghost.
No,
That's
Donovan
not
Mitchell,
true
no,
because
no.
he's averaging 25
Yeah.
points a game.
But
Donovan-
he's not doing enough.
Donovan Mitchell has
Well,
played.
he's not doing enough.
His team's
His
trash.
team's
My
not
dad
good.
plays
Mitchell
on his
has
team.
played well in the playoffs. He hasn't played like to his end of the season, regular season caliber, but he's played well in the playoffs. He's played a lot better than Simmons, in my opinion, and I think he showed up better than Simmons. But hands down, Tatum's been the best rookie in the playoffs, and I think playoff basketball like shows what a player is going to be in the future.
I agree.
Because it shows a lot about like their character and like it just shows me a lot that Tatum he passed Larry Bird's record for most consecutive 20-point games as a rookie, and he's done what 6 straight now in the playoffs. For
He's
me,
past Larry Bird's
yeah,
record.
he passed. He passed him. Yeah, Larry Bird had 5. He's at 6 right now. For me, playoffs included, Tatum's rookie of the year. Playoffs not included,
Simmons.
I'm actually gonna go with Mitchell.
Really?
And here's the reason why. Simmons has a team to play with, and I think the team still does well and makes it to the playoffs with or without him. Jazz do not make it to the playoffs and do as well.
I don't think the 76ers make it to the playoffs without Ben
I agree with that. He's
I think-
Yeah, I
don't
think
he
so.
could.
They
He
did.
might
They
be
did
the
make it.
crucial part.
They didn't make it
They-
last
he
year.
might
Ben
be
Sim-
the
Joel
crucial
Embiid
part.
didn't play last
and
year.
Embiid didn't play last
And they
year.
didn't have Redick, but I still don't think they're
TJ
making it.
McConnell didn't play
I
that well. They picked up some guys in the offseason.
don't know.
There's-
All right.
And it's in the East. I think it's a lot harder to make the playoffs in the West.
I don't know. All right.
All right.
Speaking
well,
of
well,
speaking.
let me
okay.
open. And you
Allow.
skip me first of all.
No, you said
Yeah,
you
you
skipped
said-
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you skipped Trent. You skipped Trent.
Okay.
All right. Let me open it up to this then. If you had the number 1 pick, who
Oh,
would you have taken last year?
I'm taking Jason.
Who we had
Tatum.
taken out of college?
Who?
That's
Little
totally
redraft.
different.
No, no, no. He's talking about the NBA draft.
Last
No, we're
year,
just
He's talking about the NBA.
draft.
He's talking about the like
Who are you picking
redoing
first?
this last
Oh,
NBA
you mean
draft.
redoing the
Redoing the
Who
NBA
you doing
draft.
in the
After
NBA?
seeing
Who
the
you
season?
picking? Who you picking? No. Just who you picking?
Not like considering where they were
This
on the depth
season,
chart.
next season, where they're going to be in the future, the playoffs
Yeah,
this year.
yeah.
Who are
Yeah,
you picking?
I'm gonna take Jason Tatum. I feel confident in that. At one point I would have taken Donovan Mitchell, but I think Tatum's potential is higher than
We're
anyone
saying
else's in
Simmons
this
is an
draft.
option, right?
He
Simmons is
wasn't
an
in. He
option. I know,
wasn't in
I'm
this
saying, so
draft.
he's not an
No,
option.
he wasn't in the draft.
Anyone's an option.
Not in the draft. No, you,
No,
you
it's
said
not.
redoing the draft. Simmons wasn't in that draft.
I'm gonna agree with Tatum because watching him play these playoffs, I know Trent touched on this earlier. He doesn't look like a rookie out there. He looks like he's been here before. Even after he turns it over too much, but even after those turnovers, it doesn't get to him. He still plays well.
All right, so
It's got to be Tatum.
I know you love Mitchell.
I
He
really
loves
I
Mitchell.
talked about Mitchell before you.
Yes,
was
he
even good.
has. He was always good.
I know. I mean, I'm gonna go with Tatum too, but I don't think that is anything against Mitchell. I think Mitchell is gonna be one small notch under Tatum. That's it though. I think Mitchell's right there.
All right, let's close this out with one final Celtics question. All right, there's been a lot of with Terry Rozier's play in the playoffs. There's been a lot of talk on the radio, especially about trading Kyrie Irving in a potential straight up swap for Kawhi Leonard or a package deal for Anthony Davis and making Terry Rozier your point guard of your future. How do you guys feel about this?
Love it.
You love it. All right, tell me
Absolutely
why.
love it.
Tell me why.
Because Kyrie gets hurt.
Okay.
I love the man, but he gets hurt.
Would you swap? Would you do a swap for Kawhi?
No. It has to be AD.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
It has to be AD.
With
That's-
AD's play though in the playoffs
See,
and like the Pelicans'
but
chances,
Yeah, have you seen Kyrie in the playoffs?
I'm not.
No.
not this year. It's
If
not.
I-
Well, it's not here.
If I'm a Celtics fan, I don't want to give up Kyrie, and you're gonna have to throw in Jalen too, probably
For Anthony Davis,
yeah. and possibly someone else just to get.
Okay, what if you do Horford and Kyrie for
I want
AD?
Horford. No, that's giving up too much.
That's giving up
That's-
too much.
I think it's giving up
agree.
too much.
But I don't think Kawhi's
know,
enough. I don't think Kawhi's
Kawhi is
enough.
not enough.
I don't want Kawhi. So.
I
don't
we
want
already
him
have
either.
small forwards who can.
I don't-
I
You have Jalen Brown. You don't need Kawhi.
no, I'm a believer in trading Terry Rozier and a future first round pick this year to trade into the top 10 of this year's draft. I think this year's draft is insanely deep. And-
I think getting a draft pick isn't a bad idea. At the same time, I think doing the same thing, just trading Terry and getting someone else
I don't know if you gain anything.
I
But
think
you gain years.
I
Like
think he
Terry,
will.
you're gonna if you keep Terry and Kyrie, sure you're gonna
There's
be
no point.
you're gonna be insanely deep next year,
Like,
and you're gonna make a
imagine
run, but you're
having
gonna
Terry,
lose him.
Terry's trade value has never been higher
Yeah,
than it is
yeah.
right now.
Imagine having Kyrie, Terry, Hayward, Brown, Tatum, Horford. You have so many guys. You can't play them all, and Marcus Smart. You can't keep them all happy.
Marcus Smart's gone. They're not.
No, I think if you trade Terry, you resign
Yeah,
Marcus
I
Smart.
agree.
I think you need him because he provides the energy that no
He
one
does.
else
He
on the
brings
team
in that
does.
attitude.
As much as I like Marcus Smart, it's a love-hate relationship with Marcus Smart.
I love
because
Marcus
I love
Smart.
him when he's
When he-
winning games, getting offensive
Yeah.
fouls from James Harden. But then I hate him when he shoots 3 threes in a row that brick off air balls, just trash.
Before
And then there's the games when he is wet from 3 and he looks great, but the inconsistency is unreal. But the defense.
he always works hard though.
If you want the defense, his defense is
His
there
defense is
every
consistent.
night.
His
Every
offense,
night.
you never know, but he can give you defense every night. I
Myself,
think it's worth it.
Oliver, and Jeff went to which game?
Game five.
Did he
Oh, the
when he
Bucks.
came in after that injury?
It was
He
incredible.
he changed the game.
He changed the game, and that's not something
Because of
that
his
Terry
effort.
Rozier
Yeah,
can do.
because of effort.
It's the heart. It's the
Yeah.
energy
Yeah.
that it brings to the team.
Before we close this out, just so if there's some like Warriors fans or whatever out there
Warriors
want to
fans.
hear
Next
something.
Perdudo.
It's the series is 3-1.
The Warriors.
I know, but do the Pelicans have any chance to win another game in this in game 5?
They're gonna get beat by 25 plus tonight.
Yeah.
I'll bet on that one. How much want to bet, Jeff?
$10.
On camera.
$10.
On camera.
They're gonna
They
beat
will
by.
not lose
$10
by
on
25.
camera right there.
Yeah, he said by 25.
Can I
points
go-
or more.
No, it's
No,
$25.
you
Yeah,
can't change
it's
that.
fine. 25 bucks. 25.
It's at
25 bucks.
No,
Jeff,
no,
do
20,
you
no, 10
have
bucks.
10 bucks?
10 bucks in my bank account.
In the next episode, in the next podcast, Jeff will be handing me this $10, so I actually get the money.
And we'll be talking about hopefully a Celtics Cavs potential matchup. All right, thanks for watching, guys.